Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada.
Today I want to do some odds and ends, we'll just bounce all over the place. First of all,
we never do that.
Yeah,
you say that.
I want to talk about the year of the quarterback in the NFL.
We've done this before.
No, but I want to add a twist to it this year.
Oh, a twist.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this, and I think this Russell Wilson kid out of Seattle should be your rookie of the year. I really do, because of what he's achieved in the playoffs and almost with that great comeback. So, and the way the guy plays and the way he gets out of trouble. See, getting out of trouble and not getting hit, as opposed to RG3, is a reckless runner, and I still think that injury could come back to haunt him. But with this and the Kaepernicks and all, and people forgot this guy, you know, being with the Niners and then come in and replacing Smith, and just the way he plays and the way they run that offense. The question I have for you is why, when this thing is hot and the NFL is such a copycat league, when you have a spread offense that works, and you saw it with the Wildcat in its short existence, people, oh, hey, when Miami tried it, everyone's got to try it. With the spread offense, you play to a quarterback's strength. So I'm suggesting, why doesn't a team operate and design an offense for a guy like Tim Tebow, who could play a role like that? He's not a drop-back passer. He's not the kind of guy with an unimaginative offensive coordinator like they had in New York. You have to build an offense for this guy to run.
Wait a sec. The playoffs are continue this week, and you want to talk about a quarterback who's a second and third string, can't even play. I'm not going to talk about Tim Tebow.
Well, I'm just suggesting.
Let's talk about the quarterbacks that are playing right now.
We'll get to that. Just answer that question.
Well,
why
you went from Russell Wilson to Tim Tebow to
because
Kaepernick.
They're all that style
confused.
of play. They're all that kind of players that are. Grant.
Jack.
What's your name again?
Frank.
Put that name tag back on here. I am Grant, Canadian Tire.
Can you just step off that soapbox for a second?
Well, I'm just asking you a question.
No, you're not asking me a question.
I'm telling you something. For a change, listen to me.
I felt like I should give you an offering money here, and I should follow you and kneel in front of what you're saying here.
Well, we can do that later.
Holy
but
one.
Tebow,
I don't want to talk about Tim Tebow.
I'm just saying, if he had that offense, they had the spread offense.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
They could no. Well, they said no, but that's where he should go, and they should design an offense around him because they don't have anybody at quarterback.
Let me go back to your original sentence.
Okay.
And that was the
you
year
mean you were paying attention?
Yeah, I was, and then I fell asleep. The year of the quarterback.
Yes.
I have to agree with you completely. And I think what I've liked this year about the year of the quarterback in the NFL is that they've changed the prototype. The Russell Wilson, RG3, Colin Kaepernick, to watch him run, the way he passes. Is it true that Kaepernick was drafted by the Chicago Cubs, or the Cubs look at him to be a 90-mile-per-hour fastball pitcher? I mean, when I see that ball going into passing, I believe that's true, that he could have been a good pitcher.
And a basketball player, great basketball player.
I love how the NFL, when I used to think of NFL, well, they were NFL quarterbacks, those tall, slim, Bart Starr kind of guys, drop back and throw very well, but now I see more of this CFL type of quarterback creeping into the NFL prototype, and I think it's so exciting to see these guys. So I totally agree with you on the year of the quarterback. It's so much more fun to watch NFL quarterbacks now because of these young guys. And don't forget Cam Newton. He's only, you know, he's around there too. So it's guys like that are very exciting to watch. And Tim Tebow, Mike, so you know I'm getting to all your comments finally, that I think if somebody could build an offense around him to allow him to be like that, more like those guys, I think would be an effective
Well, that's what
team.
I was saying. Why didn't you just agree with me off the start? Christ, you're a stubborn
I just
bastard.
said it better.
Mike McCoy goes to coach the San Diego Chargers. He was the offensive coordinator with Denver, obviously with Carolina before that, but under his guidance, Tim Tebow won a playoff game that Peyton Manning couldn't. So
Can we talk about Peyton Manning first?
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Are people going to remember Peyton Manning's season for a guy who bounced back from serious neck injury and a season off and did incredibly during the regular season? Or are they going to remember a guy who couldn't pass for the life of him in a playoff game?
Well, I mean, the media is jumping all over that one, and let me just say this.
He didn't look sharp, Mike.
Well, maybe he's hurt.
And the way he was looking at his glove all the time, and the way he was warming up a lot, and it was cold, I guess. But
and I tell you what, I'm not saying, oh, I could have made it, but for years and years of playing quarterback, and when you play in that cold weather, if you have
yourself,
it bugs you to throw that ball. Tendinitis. When it gets cold, throwing in that cold weather can really hurt the arm. And maybe that's what he had. Who knows? Remember, the neck injury and...
so would it have bought Flacco the same?
Well, he never had neck surgery.
Oh, I see.
He never had neck surgery. And Flacco, I think, is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, with perhaps the best deep threat there is. And here's a guy playing, you know, going into his contract year. What a great time to be negotiating a contract. And I think this team could really surprise, I think they really could surprise Tom Brady and the Patriots. I think they have that mentality with Ray Lewis leading the charge in his last season. I think this is an inspired team that's have grasped, and I don't know why, but they've grasped this underdog title. They've been there more times than anybody in the AFC Championship in the last 5 years, but they're grasping this underdog title, and they're going with it.
They were 9.5-point underdogs against Peyton Manning and Denver Broncos, and they won. And I understand they're 9.5 underdogs going up against Tom Brady in New England. Didn't they beat the Patriots earlier this season too? The Ravens did. I hope for the good of the entertainment of the game that they can live up to that, and it's exciting as that. But I love Ray Lewis. I saw that ESPN special, was it 30 on 30, something like that. Fantastic guy, great family man. I have respected him as an athlete for years, and I still do. I'm getting sick of seeing him at the end of every game as if it's some messiah come on the field. You know, oops, sorry about that for the audio guys.
I'm paying for that.
You know, and all this kind of stuff. And of course, TV networks will gyrate, will go to that. Will go to that. They won't gyrate. They'll go right to it. Because it's good TV. And it sells. You know, guys crying, all this kind of stuff, praise God, and all this kind of stuff. But I'm getting a little sick of it. I'm getting a little tired of it. It looks a little too soap opera-ish, a little too melodramatic. You're a football player. Be emotional, but move on a little bit here.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Grant, I didn't like the guy. I didn't like the guy when the murder charges were around. I just thought, okay, this is just another punk, and he's involved in it. But what's come out of it, and the way that the guy has handled it, and the way it's humbled him, I like that. I love his passion for the game.
And I do too. But don't you think it's a little too much right now? It's a little too over the top. Because after every game, they're going to him.
Whatever it takes, Grant, whatever it takes to win, if that's what it takes, if he is the lightning bolt and everyone's attracted to it, let it happen. I mean, right now it's working for them, right? They're a win away from the Super Bowl.
And that is so important on a successful team. I remember back in 1989, the Flames and the Montreal Canadiens playing in the Stanley Cup final. The big advantage the Flames had, the Flames really wanted to win for Lanny.
Yep.
And we've seen that on a lot of teams, not just the Flames, but in all sports. If there's something on that team where it just brings guys together, you want to win for the old guy, you want to win for the guy that just had some troubles in his family, it means a lot. It transcends the competitive nature inside you on the field or off the field. So I think that means a lot to the Ravens. Ray Lewis.
Right.